Welcome back to 32 Ways to Connect. I'm Mary. We're on day 23, and today's theme is open to listen. Each day, our capacity to listen changes, and that's okay. It could be based on our mood, how much sleep we got, etc., etc. So, trusting that this is always a moving target for us and setting the intent to being more open to listen can definitely help our connections to ourself and our relationship and all of life. One example of a place that is really difficult for us to staying open to listen is when we make an assumption or we've already written a story in our mind around what we think is going on for another person. My favorite one is when someone doesn't get back to someone, whether they don't return the email, the phone call, the text message, right? Sometimes we may go into a process or an elaborate story in our mind that could be very dramatic. And then how many of those times does the person get back with you and do you recognize or realize the story that you had written about why you thought they hadn't gotten back to you was completely off or wrong? A lot of times we don't make a bookmark in that moment of being wrong because we don't like to look at that. But when we bookmark those moments, they actually, in fact, can remind us and help us as a marker to staying open to listen next time. We can save a lot of energy when we're not going into dramatic story writing prior to us knowing the answer around something. We make assumptions and fill in the blank all the time in relationship. And we also do this with our relationship with ourselves. So maybe we're having a crummy day and we blame the teller at the bank that looked at us funny. And when we start to slow down later, maybe we recognize, oh, actually, I didn't eat breakfast this morning and I always get really crabby and my perception gets off when I don't eat. Whoops, right? Slowing down, opening to listen. Where am I writing a story, filling in blanks that may be completely untrue, making assumptions in my world? Where can I begin opening more to not knowing and feeling okay with that, that's okay? We don't have to know everything all the time. We don't have to move and use our energy to fill in blanks in any ways. It's okay to wait, to ask questions, and to listen when there's the space and we can receive the answer. Another place that's important to opening to listen is when we disagree with other people. It is possible to hold and honor your perspective around something and being curious to learning something new around someone else who's had a completely different life, is seeing it from a different perspective to understand where they're coming from. In opening to listen, this can give us a greater sense of understanding and connection. It definitely can help to slow down and really listen. So I pulled one card. And the question, of course, is, as always, how can I open more to listening? How can I strengthen or open more to a greater connection with life? And I pulled the Three of Wands. The Three of Wands is a sense of holding your sense of sovereignty or self, right? So that self-honoring that I've talked about, and having the capacity to look out on the horizon and take the rest of the world in. Right? So in being able to hold both. So take what's useful, dismiss what's not. I leave that with you. All my love, and I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.